L words, lay versus lie, lightening versus lightning, and loose versus lose. Then we got some M through O words, metal, 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 and metal. Of versus have. Yes, people really do get those two mixed up, and you will never get them mixed up again. And when to use on to and when to use onto. Then we've got a whole set of P words. Pair, pair, and pair, past and past, peak, peak, and peak, perpetrate and perpetuate, pie and pie, praise, praise, and praise, precedence, precedents, and presidents, principle, principle, and prophet and prophet. And of course, we'll end with some practice. All right, lay versus lie. This is one that even native English speakers have a lot of trouble with because unfortunately, when you get into different tenses, you start getting the words mixed up. So, to begin with, if you mean to recline, to go from an upright position to a flatter position, then the word you use normally is lie, but the past tense is lay. Progressive tense lying, and then you have lain to be used with had and have. So, I lie down for a nap at 4 p.m. every day. If you're talking about something you do habitually, you don't say, I lay down for a nap. Only in the past tense do you say that. Yesterday, I lay down for a nap at 4:30. The key word here is yesterday. Because it's the past tense, you can say lay. Any other time? No, no, no. Lay means something else. I'm lying down for a nap right now. Never say I'm laying down for a nap because then you sound like a chicken. I'll get to that. And I have lain down for a nap many times before. Let me just emphasize, you do not say I have laid with a D down because again, that makes you sound like a chicken. We'll get to it. So, if you mean to recline, use lie, lay, lying, and lain. Now, if you mean to put or place, use lay, laying, and laid. Okay? Now, here's the thing. If you are talking about the version of lay that means to put or place, it always, always, always needs a direct object. So the way I remember this is with chickens. When chickens produce eggs in English, it's called laying. So, the hens lay eggs. Okay, direct object eggs receives the action of the verb lay. The hen is laying eggs right now. Yesterday, my favorite hen laid 2 eggs, so you can use that for past tense, but only if you have a direct object like eggs. And the hen has laid many eggs, there's those eggs again, in her lifetime. So just remember, the lay goes with eggs almost all the time. It can go with other things, I laid the book on the table and so on. But if you remember it with chickens, you might keep it straight. Or, as my English teacher used to say, lovers lie, chickens lay. Why did she say lovers lie? Because lovers do not only recline, they also tell falsehoods. They lie. So if you mean to say something that is not true, use lie. Past tense lied. Progressive is lying again, and lied to go with had and has. So I always lie to my teachers about homework. I tell falsehoods to my teachers about homework. I don't actually, but we'll just go with it for this. Yesterday, I lied to my math teacher. I'm lying to my English teacher as I write this. I have lied to many teachers in my lifetime. So if you're talking about telling falsehoods, it's lie, lied, lying, and lied. All right, now that we've got all that straight, here's a shorter one. Lightning and lightening. This mostly comes about because some people pronounce lightning as in flash in the sky followed by thunder. They pronounce it with an extra syllable. Lightening. No, it doesn't have an extra syllable. It's just lightning. Lightning. If it goes kapow or goes with thunder, which goes kapow, it's lightning. Lightening with the E in it means something different. So, lightning is associated with thunder. No E, it's got thunder. One of them means raising the light level or making less heavy. So if you are lightening someone's load, then you use the E. If there's lightning in the sky, then you don't use the E. So if all else fails, just remember the E in heavy goes with the E in lightening. You lighten something that is heavy. Just go with the E's. All right. So here's our examples. Lightning flashed in the sky. These new lamps are lightening the room. They are making it lighter, brighter, less dark. Or your help is lightening my burden, making it less heavy. All right, let's look at loose versus lose. This is one that people get confused a lot, especially when they write. Loose with two O's is the opposite of tight. So, for example, when a dog gets off its leash, it is said to be running loose. So just remember, loose has so much extra room in it that it can fit two O's. It's the opposite of tight. Lose with one O and that Z sound in it is the opposite of win. So, the child's loose tooth fell out. Okay, you've got the extra room in there for that extra O, so it's loose. You're going to lose the game if you don't play well. No extra room in there. All right, medal, medal, metal, and metal. Oh boy. A medal with a D and an AL is a decoration or a badge. Think Olympic medals. To meddle, two Ds, then an LE, no A, is to interfere without being wanted. So, the brave soldier won a medal for valor. Must you always meddle in my private affairs? Totally different meanings, we just happen to say them the same way. Now you come to metal and metal. Now, a lot of English speakers will say metal, 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 and metal in exactly the same way. They all kind of come out metal, especially Americans. Well, they don't mean the same thing. And if you want to be extra correct, say the D for two of them and the T for two others. So metal is an earth element. Think iron or copper. Metal, no A, means boldness or courage or the quality of a person. It's most often used in the phrase test your mettle, which means test how brave you are, test what you're really made of. So, the metal AL box grew hot in the summer sun, or this adventure will test your mettle. Totally different meanings, and really we only get them mixed up because we say them the same way and because we love puns. All right, of versus have. If you get this wrong after watching this video, I will hunt you down. Of is a preposition. Have is a helping verb that appears in the contractions should've, could've, and would've. There is no such construction as should of, could of, would of. It means absolutely nothing. It is nonsense. Never, ever, ever, ever use it. Have is a verb. Of is not. If you are constructing a verb phrase or a contraction therefrom, don't use of. So, I could have gone home hours ago. I should have left hours ago, but I didn't want to go. I would have left hours ago, but my bus is late. All right, so basically, if you're trying to figure out whether the second verb is of or have, it's have, because of is not a verb. Next, on to versus onto. Do you write it as two words or one word? Well, basically, you use the one-word version if you can add up before on. So, you could say he climbed onto the roof. He goes from the ground to the top of the roof. He climbed onto it. I always think of this as the person climbing onto the roof tends to be hanging on very tightly because they don't want to fall off. I don't know, that's what I do every time I have to climb onto a roof. So you put the letters as close together as you possibly can, just like that person clinging to the roof. Whereas if you don't have up involved, there's no fear of heights, and you can have a space in there. So I held on to my child in the crowd. You may want to hang on to your child pretty tightly, but there's no fear of heights involved, so you can have the space. All right, pair, pair, and pair. The major problem with these is they all sound exactly alike, and they mean nothing like each other. A pair, AI, is two of something. To pare, A-R-E, means to remove or peel. A pear, E-A-R, is a type of fruit. So have you seen my good pair of shoes? Shoes traditionally come in twos. Use this knife to pare the apple. And I hate the taste of pears, they are too sweet. Just that one you're going to have to memorize. All right, past versus past. Past, with an ED, is the past tense of the verb to pass. Have we said past enough in the last minute of this video? The past, just AST, is the time before the present. Just don't mix them up. The truck passed by in a cloud of dust. You see here it's acting as a verb. And my first birthday is many years in the past, before now. All right, peak, peak, and peak. This one I see misused all the time. A peak with an A is the top of a mountain. To peek with two E's is to glance furtively. And to pique someone with a Q is to wound their pride or excite their interest. So, the mountaineer struggled to reach the peak. If it all else fails, just remember that A in capital form is very pointy, like the top of a mountain. Peak. The child peeked threw her fingers at her mother. The way I always remember this one is with the popular children's game hide and seek, where one person hides and somebody else goes looking for them. So if you are peeking through things, it's like you are seeking, and seek is spelled with 2 E's and a K. So when in doubt, remember that if you're kind of peering or glancing furtively, just like you're playing hide and seek, then you're peeking, spelled exactly the same way. And this mystery novel has piqued my curiosity. All right, perpetrate versus perpetuate. This one is mainly a product of autocorrect. People try to type one or the other, and autocorrect goes, oh, you meant the other one. No, autocorrect is wrong. To perpetrate means to commit, as in a crime. Perpetuate means to prolong or sustain. Literally, it means to make it go on forever. So, Fred perpetrated the robbery. A robbery is a crime, so you perpetrate it. You don't make it go on forever, you just commit it. And don't perpetuate old wives' tales. If you keep telling those stories, they will be around forever, so you are perpetuating them. All right, pi versus pi. Pi without the E is a Greek letter representing an irrational number. Pi with the E is a delicious pastry. Just remember, it's 1 letter longer because you want more of it. Pi is the ratio of a circle's circumference to its diameter, and I love apple pie. Next, praise, praise, and praise. Praise, A-I-S-E, means to express approval. Praise, with the Y, means makes requests to God. And praise, E-Y-S, means hunts for food or victimizes. Think predators. So the teacher praised the clever student, every farmer prays for rain, and every predator preys on other animals. All right, precedence, precedents, and presidents. Precedence, with the 2 C's, means priority. You take precedence, you take priority, you come first. Precedents, with the T, means examples or criteria. Literally, it means things that happened first. So if there is a precedent for something, then it has happened previously. There's a version of it that happened first, and so you know it's possible. Presidents, with the S, and you pronounce it with a Z sound, presidents are chief executives. So my emergency takes precedence over yours. It precedes yours. There are many precedents, with a T, for this legal decision. Decisions like this have happened before. And 4 company presidents walked into a board meeting. Oh, that sounds like the beginning of a bad joke. Next, principle and principle. Okay, I'm going to teach you the horrible mnemonic that I learned when I was 6 years old. Principle, with the AL, means either chief or of first importance. It can also mean the person in charge of a school, the chief of a school. So the way I learned it at the age of 6 is your principal is your pal, your friend. Isn't that nice? My principals were almost never my pals, but they tried very hard, so I'll give them the benefit of the doubt. Principle, P-L-E, means fundamental belief. Totally different thing. So my principal, primary or first importance objection to your plan is that it's silly. The school principal, remember he's your pal, was a charismatic leader. And I believe in the principle, the fundamental belief, of free speech. All right, our last one is profit and profit. Profit, F-I-T, means gain. Basically, it's how much you get over how much you invested in something. If you pour $1,000 into a business and you make $2,000, then you have made a profit of $1,000. A prophet, P-H-E-T, is someone who predicts the future. This is where we get words like prophetic. So the company made record profits last year, and the prophet predicted the end of the world. All right, let's do some practice. Choose the correct answer for each of these sentences. I need to lay or lie down for an hour. The Cleveland Cavaliers lose or lose too many games. The scientist received a medal or medal for the dangerous expedition that proved his mettle or metal. You could, of, or have told me that earlier. Hang on to or onto this bag for me for a few minutes. Now that the parade has gone past, can we move on? The advanced screening of the movie was advertised as a sneak peek. The director began principal photography last month. And some executives care only about profits. Take a good look. Pause the video if you need to. You ready? Here are the answers. I need to lie down for an hour. There's no direct object here. There's no eggs, so you're not a chicken. So you're just going to lie down. The Cleveland Cavaliers lose Too many games. Remember, it's not the opposite of tight, so there's no room for the extra O. The scientist received a medal, just think Olympic medals, for the dangerous expedition that proved his mettle, what he was made of, his courage. You could have told me that earlier. Remember, if it's part of a verb phrase, you're never going to use of. Hang on to this bag for me for a few minutes. Well, you can't put up in front of it, so you've got room for that space. Now that the parade has gone past, can we move on? The advanced screening of the movie was advertised as a sneak peek. Remember, you're seeking it, so you get that EEK again. The director began principal, initial, or first photography last month. And some executives care only about profits. With the FITS, while it's entirely possible that some executives only care about profits with the PH, frankly, more of them are thinking about money than about religious figures who predict the future. And that's all for this lesson. Thank you for watching. Educator.com.